I've made a number of videos about the nuclear power industry and whether it has a chance of coming back. One unresolved problem in the nuclear power plant business is the contractual relationship between reactor vendors, engineering companies, and power utilities. Previously, I covered how the Westinghouse AP1000 reactor design, which was supposed to simplify reactor construction projects, ended up complicating them. Nuclear power started out being sold on a turnkey or fixed price basis. A nuclear power plant is about the biggest and most expensive thing a private sector company has ever bought. Without fixed bid or fixed price contracts, the first nuclear power plants may never have been built. But after the construction of the first dozen or so power plants under fixed bid contracts, reactor vendors, of which Westinghouse and GE were dominant players, stopped writing fixed bid contracts. They had to stop for exactly the reasons you are probably imagining. They were losing money, sometimes terrifying amounts of money. You might imagine this would have put off utilities from buying more power plants. In fact, the opposite happened. The reason most of the power plants in the US exist today is that in the 1960s through the 1980s, dozens more nuclear power plants were built, and they were built under cost plus or conventional contract terms. Did nuclear power suddenly become immune from cost overruns? Nah, to this day, cost overruns in nuclear power plant construction are an unsolved problem. They're still the most complex and difficult and expensive projects undertaken by commercial entities. Are the utility companies masochistic? No. It's now the power companies' customers that take it in the pants. The power companies engaged in regulatory capture, enabling them to put the cost of power plant construction on the ratepayers in order to protect both the power companies and their bondholders. What does this imply for hopes for a nuclear power renaissance? The hope that we can design our way out of cost overrun risk has been demonstrated as a false hope. That was the selling point of the AP1000 reactor design, and that's the design that was used in the most recent failed projects in building new nuclear power plants in the US. The ratepayers are taking it in the pants. Westinghouse was pushed into bankruptcy, and Westinghouse's then owner, Toshiba, was pushed to the brink financially. Modularity sounds great. The AP1000 was supposed to combine scale with modularity to deliver the best of both worlds. Small modular reactors are inherently selling the idea that lots of little problems don't add up to a big problem. About that, we are skeptical. The answer is unlikely to be found in reactor design, nor can we see an answer in the way that reactor construction is contracted. The ratepayers are going to be unenthusiastic about bearing the risk in future reactor construction. Americans are culturally averse to admitting that market economics don't work in all cases. We like using the same market economics for a bag of chips or a liver transplant. But the limitations of the market economy may be where the answer lies. We don't even have to admit the Chinese got it right, that reactor construction works better in a state capitalist system. The French have shown the way, and if we can rein in our chauvinism for a minute, we might study the way that the French nuclear power industry does in fact work.